crime wave in Gotham. Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
Coming up, more problems for a troubled
earthquake.
Yep,
We're having an earthquake.
Breaking into homes and tickling people.
Fans quickly trashed his pantsless look on social media.
Also, in other news,
the whistles go woo!
He was murdered and then set on fire while celebrating his birthday.
He's on the lean and the model.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
He thought the car was a spaceship and that the driver was an alien.
He lost his life savings, $2,600. And all he has to show for it is this stuffed banana with dreadlocks.
It's time for another news right here on the Bernstein and Goff Show on 670 The Score, 670thescore.com, and watch 670thescore.com. And other news is our way to get some stories, whether it be in the world of sports or outside the world of sports, into you. All right, so this from the ESPN.com webpage, Dan, and something that we've talked about before with the NFL and marijuana. It says the NFL has made a clear indication that it may be willing to work with the NFL Players Association to study the use of marijuana as pain management. The league wrote a letter to the NFLPA offering to work with it to study the potential use by players as pain management tool. The source confirmed this in saying the letter was first reported, of course, by the Washington Post, the failing Washington Post. The NFLPA has not yet responded to the offer and did not immediately respond to the Post for comment. Quote, we look forward to working with the Players Association on all issues involving the health and safety of our players. That's from Joe Lockhart. That's the NFL's Executive Vice President of Communications. The NFL's letter pointed out a few areas for potential research, including pain management for acute and chronic conditions. The league has previously indicated that it's studying marijuana as a pain management tool on its own. PA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith told the Washington Post January that the union was working on a proposal on a, quote, less punitive approach to recreational marijuana use. Quote, I do think that issues of addressing it more in a treatment and less punitive measure is appropriate. I think it's important to look at whether there are addiction issues, and I think it's important to not simply assume recreation is the reason it's being used. So I don't know if this is steps towards, a real progressive movement in terms of allowing guys to smoke marijuana instead of, dumping all the opioids into their system and being hooked on things long after they don't have the money to feed that habit.
It can't hurt, could help.
But if marijuana is being considered, I'm all for it because the medicinal uses, especially that we've seen the breakthroughs in terms of treating HIV patients, in terms of treating cancer patients. You got a bunch of young dudes running around that just don't want to take painkillers as much anymore. So good for the NFL if they go through with this.
Smoke weed every day.
Maybe every other day.
Are you aware of Joshua Zeke Thomas?
Joshua Zeke Thomas.
Does that name ring a bell?
No.
29-year-old DJ, producer, and musician. And
that's his stage name, Zeke?
Zeke.
No.
DJ Zeke.
Nope.
And he has a new video out for a song called Dealin' With It. And he said that he has been DJing since he was 13, working in music. He said Hot 97, Atlantic Records, interning at booking agencies. And he's told the story to Billboard magazine. And I guess I should have known about this. It was started in April when he was first putting the album together. He's the son of Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, yes. Now that you say it, yes. And he's out. He is out. Mm-hmm. He is gay. And he DJs all the NBA's events.
And in February of 2016, he was raped by a man that he met on Grindr. Mm-hmm. And he tells the story of that and how his music has...
Which is the gay version of Tinder, of the Tinder app, if you're not familiar.
And it's helped him overcome it. He also said that he was sexually abused when he was 12 years old and has been using music to work through some of this. I had no idea.
Yes,
I had no idea that Isaiah Thomas's son was out and was using music to work through a lot of these demons of a very difficult story, but fascinating stuff. I mean, the Billboard stuff. It's very moving.
And Isaiah Thomas actually within the NBA has stood for and behind his son on many occasions, and that's why he gets these gigs because he's a damn good DJ apparently, and also the progressive league trying to make everyone feel included. But yeah, I read a couple of stories about Joshua Thomas. I'm sorry I couldn't place the name immediately, but yeah, he's been doing like he did. He's done a couple of All-Star weekends at some of their premier events. I believe Kenny Smith has actually had him DJ a couple of his parties because Kenny Smith has the biggest party on All-Star Weekend in every city that they go to. So, yeah, man, good for him, too, that he's not only working through his issues but talking about them as well, so that people that may have gone through some of the similar things that he went through aren't scared to share their feelings. This from, the failing New York Times. I went from the Washington Post to the New York Times now. This is a weird...
They just had their best quarter ever.
Of course. Yep. A weird and grimy story, man. This is from Dateline Philadelphia. A woman said she had a sexual relationship with the former baseball star Pete Rose in the 1970s, starting when she was 14 or 15 years old. According to testimony submitted to a court Monday, testimony was presented by the defense as part of a federal lawsuit Rose filed last year in Philadelphia against a lawyer whose investigation led to Rose being kicked out of Major League Baseball for gambling. Rose, the Major League's career hit leader, contends that the lawyer, John Dowd, defamed him in 2015 by saying on the radio that Rose had raped girls ages 12 to 14 during spring training. Rose, who is 76, has acknowledged having a relationship with a woman beginning when she was 16, the age of consent in Ohio. Ray Jenko, Rose's lawyer, said the woman's claims were unverified. Quote, at this point, it's just a big distraction, unquote. Jenko also accused Dowd of dragging, quote, Pete's name through the mud, unquote. Rose alleges in the lawsuit that Dowd damaged his reputation and endorsement deals during a July 2015 interview on WCHE AM radio in Westchester, PA. With this coming to the surface here, and now this lady saying that this happened when she was 14 or 15, it'll be very interesting to see if during playoff coverage, if Fox or anyone else puts Pete Rose on one of those stages, because Pete Rose is kind of making his way into our public consciousness again. Yep. And now with this, it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this, and if Fox says, yeah, A-Rod, Pete Rose, Frank Thomas, we're ready to roll again.
You see R. Kelly's canceling shows?
Of course he is.
Ever since that came out, apparently ticket sales have dropped.
He's a scumbag.
He's not filling up arenas.
Yeah.
I have this thing about not having surgery unless you absolutely need it.
Yeah,
Don't have medical procedures. This is from
I'll never forget
the New York Post.
When Kanye West's mom died. That show that day. We talked about it a lot.
This man he's a Swedish man who went in for a penis enlargement surgery. A phalloplasty, an elongation and girth enhancement procedure performed by taking fat cells from other parts of the body using liposuction and injecting them. And in this patient's case, it was fat that was removed from his abdomen. It's considered quite common. The 30-year-old who had no prior medical history went into cardiac arrest toward the end of the surgery. Doctors tried to resurrect him while he was rushed to an emergency hospital. They were unsuccessful, and he died.
Yeah. How can I put this?
All he wanted was
a bigger wang.
Was it really worth it? You went in for his surgery at age 30 because you wanted fat injected there, and now you're dead.
And don't you have to, when you had that surgery?
And Jamal Adams said he'd be happy to die. He swooped in and said, that's how I want to go out.
Roger Goodell says that playing football will give you a bigger one no matter what, so you don't even need the surgery. How do you, do you have to start all over with new partners after that, or do you, once you have that surgery, go back to the people that thought you were inadequate?
How you like me now?
Yeah, don't you have to get a new roster?
All right, how many of these surgeries are performed each year worldwide?
I'm going to go, and I know I'm going to be low here, 500.
8,400.
Dude.
Yeah. Come on.
There's always somebody for you if you're suffering from something, from some lack of whatever you think you have or need as a sexual partner. And there's other ways, too. I mean, you don't always have to do the same finishing move. You don't have to have the Hulk Hogan leg drop.
Finish him.
Yeah, there's other things that you can partake in to make sure that your partner is having a good time with you. You don't have to go out there and get things added on to
In other news, brought to you by GilletteOnDemand.com. 40 million Americans wake up to a Gillette shave. Gillette's working to bring you America's #1 shave for less. Go to GilletteOnDemand.com and get every fourth order free. Okay, when we come back...
There's a lot of people who are willing to sign up, apparently, for this surgery.
When we come back, I've got a question. We're going to play a little game.
All right.
I
like
play
games.
A game with you. I saw this, and I was going to just mention it. I think you're going to be really good at this game.
Oh, man.
But I'm not sure. It has to do...
If I'm really good, it won't be entertaining.
No, it'll be It's going to be fun because you have no idea what this
I have
is.
no idea what you're talking
and
about.
it has to do with a White Sox player who's making his Major League debut tonight.
All right, let's do it.
That one lifted and well hit to left field, way back and gone.
Nicky Delmonico.
You gotta love a 25-year-old man named Nicky. Nicky Delmonico called up to replace Willie Garcia, who is now on the concussion DL. And Nicky Delmonico expected to make his Major League debut tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He is from Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, just for fun, I thought we'd do this. He is one of 3 Delmonico brothers. Okay? We know Nicky Delmonico.
The famous Delmonicos.
I just want to see how many names it takes you to guess the names of the other Delmonico brothers.
Make me sound like we're super. All right,
I just
right. This is pretty much like can Goff stereotype this name long enough to get it? All right, I got you.
I just want to see because you don't know.
Right.
It could be a trick question, right? I want to see how long. I believe that in this segment you will.
You got Dave O'Brien the first guess, right? I gave you 5
Bill
chances.
O'Brien.
I'm sorry, Bill O'Brien.
Right.
You got that first guess.
You get. I just want to. I'm just
How
going
many
to count
chances do I get?
how many. We're just going to get like. How many outs
Sucks,
do you
man,
want?
No. If we weren't on the air, I'd be making some different jokes right now. All right,
no, just
Anthony.
Tony Delmonico.
Yes,
Yes, that's one.
Oh, God,
so we got Nicky Delmonico. We've got Tony Delmonico. Who is the other one?
Petey?
Nope.
I don't go that deep. I get Johnny Delmonico.
It's not Johnny Delmonico. that's
Sucks,
2
man.
outs.
I'm sorry to everyone on Taylor Street. I apologize. Doug, you're up there looking down right now. I'm sorry, brother.
Jimmy 2 times Delmonico.
Yeah, Jimmy Delmonico? James Delmonico?
Nope. We're right there.
I mean, Anthony was that's center cut right there.
Yeah.
All right. Come on, help me out, fellas. Come
Just
on,
imagine the mom calling them into dinner.
Petey, little Petey.
No, that was his first guess. No.
Anthony, Nicky, Mikey.
Nope.
Oh, come on,
Frankie.
No.
Like now, I'm thinking of A Bronx Tale and every name that was mentioned in the movie. Oh, come on, Shep, give us something here.
Don't say every name in that movie.
Yeah, real deal.
Right.
Yeah. Anthony, Nicky,
come in for dinner.
Vincent.
No, it's not Vinny.
Dude, this is
It's
bad.
Danny.
Nope.
I feel bad. I'm not. I'm
How about
not.
Johnny?
That was guessed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Johnny was the
guessed.
second one. Ooh, not Anthony, Michael.
Texter's got it.
It's not Giuseppe.
Well, kinda.
Joseph.
Joey.
Joey Delmonico. I didn't think of Joey. I apologize.
Joey. There you
Jeez
go.
Louise. I feel awful now.
thought it'd be fun.
It was
Name
fun.
of the
but it was-
Delmonicos.
Like now, I want to play like black or Italian with the Cadillac at the
I love
stoplight.
it. By the way, you have ruined me forever
Yeah,
with
well,
that.
Brendan hit me
when
to
you
it.
see like the Cadillac STS,
Yes,
and then you
and
play.
before you get there at the window, you guess black or Italian, and you're usually right either way it goes.
What if it's Mike Tirico?
Well, you're wrong on black.
Right, exactly. He will insist.
If you're asking Mike, you're wrong
And then
on
he'll
black.
insist it's not a Cadillac either.
Well, thank
Right.
you for that, Jules, and thank you, Nick, and thank you, Chris, and no thank you to you, Dan, for making me feel uncomfortable in that moment.
I knew that would be fun.